Yeah, the Falcons is they're up by one, a little bit of 14-13 right now. It's kind of strange because I didn't expect this game to be close. I thought the Bucks might have ran away with it, but I
Just
guess not.
teams this time of year they start playing spoiler. So but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, the Bucks they're in a terrible division. All they gotta do is win a division, and they're good. I don't. Well, I mean, Carolina's right there.
yeah,
So, at the end of the
they got
day,
some
they
wins
got a
on them.
shot, you know what I mean? So they got to kind of keep them off their back. So it's important. So they better try to pull it out. Pause.
Pause. Yeah, definitely pause on
Mm-hmm.
that one. But we're back again, episode 13. Welcome to
1-3.
Off the Parkway podcast. I'm James, and that's Big Sue. We are back again. We are here, and we got some things to talk about,
Couple
man.
things. You know what I mean? It's
You know,
some big headlines, big stories that's out there recently.
yeah. But first thing, how you feeling?
I'm all right, man. Just trying to survive and maneuver through this cold. You know what I mean? I know it's the holiday season, so things start getting real crowded in these stores on these roads. Trying to, trying to make it out in one piece, man. But everything been good on my end, man. What about you?
Man, I'm all right. Shoot, stomach a little messed up from this dinner I went to earlier. Well, it was more lunch. Went to that today. It was good getting around the people from work and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But that food, man, got my stomach doing cartwheels, man. And I ain't really had much to eat, but I don't know.
Hey, man, you know how it
They was
is,
doing
man. Other
something.
people cooking, man. Your body ain't used to all that. People be putting their own stuff in there, man.
Man, that chef in the back, like my man from Road Trip, uh like, and they're doing all type of crazy stuff in the kitchen, man. I tell you
What's
that.
my man?
But
What's my man from Nickelodeon back in the day, man? Where he's the cookies to put the boogers and shit in his in the food. What was that? What was that?
oh
You can't do
man.
that on television. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old school shit. Oh man, yeah.
Oh man.
You age, baby.
That's
You know about that, man.
that was some good times right there, that Nickelodeon,
Uh-huh.
man. You can't do that on television. A little bit of Double
Yeah.
Dare
Oh yeah.
and Stay with the Slime. Nickelodeon was known for the
But
slime.
stay with the slime.
I get slime though too, but that's another
Some
story.
say. Some say. Different kind of slime from chip. But you know what?
Nah, they won't. They won't
It
say that. They just say regular green
might
slime.
just be pet juice is what you confused it for.
Nah,
And
no such thing.
you
There's
always
no
been a
such thing.
master of that too. But
There's no such thing, buddy. No
it's
such
on your
thing.
car, sir. But
But
we gonna go on.
it was nothing was on my car. Absolutely nothing was on my car, man. Shoot. But what's important, man? Where you want to start at, big?
I think the thing that's been
Or
taken
you
over
want to just
is that whole situation that's going on in Michigan, man. Yeah, they got the head coach. What's the head coach name? Sharon Moore.
Sharon?
Sharon
Yeah.
Moore. Head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team. Uh, had the season is still kind of going. They had a bowl game coming up. The record was like 9-3, if I'm not mistaken. Michigan last year they won the national championship. If I'm not mistaken, if it was last year.
Yeah, I think so.
So you know, uh, I haven't. My team in college football is Notre Dame, and they kind of jerked us for that playoff bid. But we can talk about that another time. You know, I haven't been up to date on college football as much as the pro sports. Same thing with college basketball. Kind of start digging into college basketball a little bit more as the season go on. This headline right here kind of took off right here because obviously we have another case of a coach or somebody in the power, in the place of power that is messing with an employee, messing with somebody that works under them, somebody part of the staff, and this is a guy who had an affair with a staffer, and it got messy. It got messy. They found out, gave him the hot fire shit can, and now that's when all the drama started happening after that. Man, it supposedly got her pregnant, made her had an abortion. He paid for it, but once the shit was found out, went to the house, put a knife to his throat, allegedly. Told her, I'm taking myself out and taking you with me, all this stuff. So he got charges on him. He got arrested. He's living in rain by tomorrow. And then, it's a whole thing now, man. So that's a big headline. There's a lot to talk about with that, man. What's your thoughts on it?
Man, the power of that PUSSY. I can tell you that. If that ain't the most scandals that come down with these just coaches in general, it's been a lot of them. And it's kind of crazy that it keeps happening every year that this stuff goes on where it's some type of infidelity and it goes totally left. And as you can see, she got pregnant. But you know what I mean? And it seemed like he had a good he was on the up
Mm-hmm.
with his
Mm-hmm.
career, that he was going to be looked at by maybe other colleges and maybe the league. But the thing is that you gotta stay focused, man, especially for these men out there, because when you get that new power, that new fame, they come at you. And I don't know if that's the case or not, or if he went after her or not. But the thing is that he, they met somehow, they got together somehow. He promoted her, moved her up, gave her more money. So it was all consensual. But the thing is that usually the workforce laws, it's totally against him because he's the superior. So she is going to be the victim for all the way through this. You know what I mean?
All,
And that's the
all,
crazy
all
part.
I know is my man Dr. Umar gonna have a field day with this one right here, man. He gonna have a field day with this one right here.
Well,
Black
no,
Queens
no.
forever, nobody's never. He gonna have a field day with this because once again, that be the dynamic. It'll never be black coach cheating with the black chick or something like that. It's always the white intern or the white trainer or something like that. Now, whatever, I don't care. You know what I mean? But it's just damn, yo, these dudes always getting caught up like that. And let me not even make it a race thing because it could be a white coach that get caught out there,
No,
and,
it's
and,
plenty
and
of
it's
them.
happened
It's plenty
before. It
of them.
can be Hispanic,
Yeah.
it can be whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's crazy because like when I came home today, my wife she came in and she started going off. Yeah, about that. I'm like, hold on, am I in trouble with you going off right now? Like, hold on now. I heard about it the same way you did. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, but I was telling her, I said, I'm like, yo, you look surprised. I said, don't be, I mean, you could be like appalled that he did it and that he, ruined ruined his marriage and, just ruined his opportunity, his career for some ass. You know what I mean? That's what you said, just for some fucking pussy. I was like, yeah, I looked, I said, but the thing is, I said, yo, this is something that's been happening for years. There's just so many stories about this, stories that never came out, people that have talked about these things, and it's when you code of conduct and all these different things that exist when you're supposed to work at these places and uphold. Like these are coaches, athletic people who've been within, in athletics all their lives and things like that. They're not corporate. You know what I mean? So when you apply these corporate rules, expectations, and things like that to a sports workplace, they ain't following that shit, man. They just ripping and running, and they're used to doing shit like that, man. So it's a fine line that they're trying to tote, man. But that's what it is, man. He put himself out there.
Dr. Umar already gave him his lashes because his wife is white. So
Well,
yeah,
more power to him.
so yeah, so you know what I mean. It is what it is. You know what I mean. It's just a bigger thing because it's Michigan. But these type of things happen everywhere. You could be at FedEx, you can work at McDonald's, you can work anywhere. This stuff
Right.
happens. I've seen it in different
Hmm.
places. You know what I mean? It's only news like that because it went so far. But it's been situations where guys leave their wives for the side. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So,
Hmm.
is it right? No, because of the supervisory part? No, it's not right because it's so much ramifications to go along with it, but it happens. It's hard to stop two people from consensually getting involved with each
And
other.
that's the thing. And that's the key word right there, consensual. And you have these values and these ethics and everything that you're supposed to uphold because at the end of the day, they're there because it becomes messy when you're messing with somebody you're working with. You're supposed to be working for, working under. It gets real muddy and things become unethical. But when you're working in close proximity with somebody and you're spending more time with that person than you spend with people at home and things like that, it's a recipe for some shit to happen, man. That's why you find that more people working from home. That's why you find that more people that want to work more solitary and away from shit and just and not get involved in these things where you're gonna be around people because shit can happen. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. Listen. I don't want to sound like I'm shooting that dude no bell because at the end of the day, it's on you to be professional. It's on, and you have a lot to lose. We talk about FedEx and McDonald's and all that shit, nigga. This man had a $30 million job. Like, bro, like you talk about fumbling the bag, man. God damn, he done fucked that up, man. I wonder if he can climb back like Ime Udoka did. I don't know. You know what I mean? So
See,
we'll see.
nah, I don't think he's gonna be able to recover from this because it went so far.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It went so far to the point that he, allegedly, he talked about
Mm-hmm.
suicide with using a weapon, talking about taking her
Mm-hmm.
out. She was pregnant, she got abortion. All these things, don't sound good when it comes down to big markets and stuff like
That's how,
that. You know
that's
what
how
I'm
they found
saying?
out because he got her to get the abortion, but he promised her a raise and double the salary. That's how they found out when they what the fuck we paying her what to do what? The fuck is this? And they found out about that shit, man.
Now,
He get a way
now,
to
come
lead,
on now.
though. I definitely got to give him a way to lead.
Oh, definitely some. You know what I mean? He got. It sounded like he got caught up. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that he did the right thing or did the wrong thing or whatever the case may be. That's his business. Whatever he chose to do, whatever decision he made, that's his
It was the wrong
business.
thing.
You
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
he's married and
Yeah, you know what
he
I
fucked with
mean.
somebody that works under him.
So
It was the wrong thing.
yeah, you know what I mean. But like I said, I don't like to get in his business. But the thing is that when you actually going above and beyond to cover things up, that's kind of tell you something right there. You know what I mean? That you might be doing a little bit too much. You know what I mean? You put a knife out there, you really throwing away everything you got. With the workplace, I see it. Even at my job, I see it. And it's what I mean? There's different ways how they handle it. Either they move people from different units or whatever the case may be, they move them around or different places. But the thing is that it once it's caught, and it depends on what level it's at when it gets caught, it's what happens next. Now, I seen it where it was caught where in the beginning, and I seen where it caught where it's too late. So, what I mean? These things happen, man. I don't think, and there's no price tag that you can have $30 million, $100 million. two people who like each other or consensually getting involved with each other, they're gonna feel like it's worth risking it all.
Yeah. The job that I used to work at some time ago, the one of the head guys who was married met was messing with somebody at the job that he worked with that was working under him, ended up leaving his wife and married her, and that's his and that ended up being his new wife. So somebody that was under him met his wife at the job when she was working under him, and these people were in positions to tell other people you can't mess with people at the job when you met your wife at the job when it was working under you. The hypocrisy that comes with this thing is crazy, is because and I'm not saying that to even throw shade on them. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying that, just to like kind of say, oh, they was fucked up. I'm looking at this to say that, yo, when you're working with people, shit happens, yo. Especially if you at a job where you're going to be putting a lot of man hours in there. If you a coach, if you're going to be good at that, at what you do, you're going to spend a lot of time in the building, breaking down film, making sure people around you is involved and is bought into everything that you're trying to do. Shit gonna happen, man. And you just gotta be strong mentally and establish boundaries and stick with them. Because if you don't, it's gonna be easy to fall prey, man. It just is.
And, and that was key what you just said. The same people who's gonna tell you that you can't do it are the ones that are doing
Hmm.
it and getting away with
Hmm.
it, or and showing that these things can happen and you can have success from it too, because they're probably still married to them. You know what I mean? So the thing is, that's why I said I can't tell that man if he's right or wrong, whatever the case may be, because you don't know what's going on in his household at the same time. But the thing is that you always want it the right way of saying, hey, I'm going to get a divorce and then I move on. But a lot of people that's out there saying it, they didn't do it that way. And they probably won't do it that way.
In the
You know,
history of people fucking with people at the job, that's probably never been done, and it's because it's yeah, nobody's just gonna say, well, let me get this divorce before I start messing with this person. It just don't work like that. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is, there's more people, and I told this to my wife too. I said, there's more people that get away with that shit to where where they don't get caught, to where it's easy for the next person to try it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, more people get away with that shit than not. Now nowadays, with so many ways to get caught doing shit, it's probably not the brightest thing to do. You're taking a big chance. Hey man, when your peace talking to you, making you do shit, you know what I mean? You
I
gotta
tell
control
you,
yourself, man. Hey
I tell
man,
you,
good luck to that man. He in jail behind the extra shit. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, you crash out on a different level. But hopefully you figure it out, man.
I'm telling you. Well, I'll tell you one thing. When he seen her and he rose to attention, he felt like it was worth every single second of what he going through right now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And and I know right now he's going through the worst situation right now in his head and everything. He's probably kicking himself in his behind right now because he risked it all for everything. But you know this in the beginning.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It plays in your mind in the beginning. Like, yo, I shouldn't be doing this. But when you run, when your brain, the other brain runs your life, it don't matter no more. You know what I mean? You know the repercussions that could happen, but you still do it. So, you know what I mean? I hope everything works out for them. You know, there's a lot going on right now, and I know it's going to be more reports and stuff like that coming on soon. But, you know what I mean? It's bigger than this situation here. This things happen all the time, man. All the time. And I don't, you know what I mean? It's just about who gets caught and who don't get caught. That's really what it's all about.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. What we got? I feel like this. I feel like this podcast is becoming a Shadour Sanders hub. for information, all things Shadour, you know what I mean? But he's been pretty polarizing, man. And and some of it is on him, some of it isn't. You know what I mean? Some of it is the people around him. And I know right now it was a kind of a debate or like a verbal confrontation with Matt Barnes of All the Smoke podcast and Sam Acho and the Players Speak podcast, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it's called. If it's wrong,
Easy.
Speakeasy. I apologize. Speakeasy
Yeah.
podcast. I knew it was something like that. And I think Matt Barnes, he you know, he kind of criticized or you know, Acho, just saying that, like, you know, kind of called it bandwagon commentary, was saying that, yo, before, you know, a lot of the analysts, a lot of sports guys was saying negative stuff about Shadour and what he was doing, choices he was making, the reasons why he wasn't playing in the beginning of the season. And now that after the, you know, he done strung together a couple of decent games, now everybody changing their tune. And, you know, they jumping on the bandwagon. They saying, you know, the critique that was there in the beginning isn't the same now. And now it's almost like they dick riding or whatever. You know, Matt Barnes was like, "Nah, stay over there. Don't try to come over here. You know, you're not welcome. You know, stay with that same narrative that you was pushing over there before, and you know, we gonna be the ones that support him." And you know, Acho, he kind of came back and was just like, "Yo, at the end of the day, you're a fan and I'm an analyst, and you're speaking from a fan's perspective, and I'm speaking from an analyst perspective because I played the game. I saw what I saw. I was breaking down what I was breaking down, and instead of trying to make it about a race thing or you know something like that. I just made it about the you know the game itself or what I was seeing. And when I see positive stuff, I'll say it. When I see negative stuff, I'll say it. I'm a truth teller. So they kind of went back and forth, and I thought it was interesting. You know what I mean? I want to hear what your take was on it.
I, I really feel like this is all content
They
wars.
pot,
You know
they
what I
pot.
mean? Yeah, yeah. They setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A nice little beef, whatever, so they can get more views and clicks.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Barnes always been like, he takes his stuff real to the heart, man. For
Him
some
and
reason,
Stat, they both do that.
and I rock with them. You know what I mean? I be liking they content. You know, but you know, I think you know for them, they were like one of the almost the first ones in there with the
Right,
pod
right.
and all that stuff. So, you know what I mean? A lot of their style is they try to be real, or and it stays with them. You know what I mean? They take it to the heart
Mm-hmm.
real too much. Me, but you can't tell somebody to not support him now when he has different views. You want the other person to change their mind on their views by Shador's play. Let Shador decide how people is by his play. If he's playing good, then people are going to change their
Mm-hmm.
minds about they feel. Some won't. Most will though. Now, if Ho or what is it, Ho or Acho? Acho. Now, I watched this stuff. I watched Speakeasy. They kind of
Yeah,
funny.
damn shady.
He does. Yeah, yeah. He kind of funny because Shady be getting at him. He was getting at him about Shador too. But he tries to play the diplomat. You know what I mean? He tries to look at both sides of the fence. Like he bigged up Shador for having a good game, but then he also said the 2-point conversion. He tried to break it down like it was a good play. But I'm like, come on, man. You know it wasn't that good. You know what I mean? Come on now. But that's his
Those
role. You know what
counterintuitive
I mean?
takes we was talking about last week.
Yeah. That's his role, man. So instead of y'all going back and forth, y'all need to get on each other's pod and just talk it out and create more content.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, come pod with us.
Yeah, I saw Ocho was like, yo, he said, yo, I've been on All the Smooth before. And like, you know, I like, won't y'all come over to Speak Easy and we can debate about it? Like, you know, we ain't got to use no hands and nothing like that. We can debate, you know, and talk about our, you know, both of our stance on the whole situation. My thing is that I'm in line with what you're saying, you know what I mean? And Matt Barnes and you know, Steven Jackson criticize a lot of people's opinions and takes and really try to go in on them. Like they don't be having takes and opinions on their own about shit. I've seen them call people ass, or get in on people, and when is it okay? You know what I mean? Is it okay for y'all to do it, and not other people to do it? You know, because at the end of the day, even though Sam Acho only played like 3 years and he was a special teams guy, he even played for my Bears. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, he wasn't no great player, nothing like that, but he played the game on the highest level. You know what I mean? So you played through high school, you played through, college, and you played in the NFL. You've been in locker rooms, you broke down film. So he's qualified to do at least that. You know what I mean? He's been on sports talk shows and things like that on FS1. And so you're gonna have to do your homework. So he's in way more position to speak about Shador as far as X's and O's in football than Matt Barnes is, because that's Matt Barnes, you're a basketball player. You know what I mean? That would be no different than if Sam Acho started talking crazy about John Morant, and then it was the kind of reverse of that whole thing. But all I'm saying is that people can have their opinion. I don't think he was coming at him when Sam Acho was having his opinion about Shador. I think he was just speaking on what he saw and his opinion on what he saw. I don't think it came from a personal place, but Sam Acho is definitely someone who wants to draw attention by his takes, by the way that he put it out there, his truth that he's saying, and he's gonna stir the pot a little bit. You know what I mean? I just think that Matt Barnes should stay out of that one and try to single out Acho when everybody, and it's crazy. You single out the black dude that may have said, but there's been plenty other dudes that been having their takes on Shador, and he could have said them, but why he chose him, I'm not sure. So I didn't like that they did that, but you get Acho right what he want. He gonna keep talking about it on his show. You know what I mean? So that is what it is.
Yeah, he definitely gonna keep talking. And but the thing is that that's how you say that about qualified and all that.
Mhm.
Basketball dudes are quick to say that someone else is not qualified to talk
Quick,
about basketball.
quick.
So how are you so quick to say something about football,
Mhm,
a sport you never even played? But you know what I mean? Like I said, I think it's all for clicks and views.
mhm.
You know what I mean? But they always talk like I guess Matt Barnes must be popping off on people because every time they talk about Matt Barnes, they always talk about some type of fighting or something like that. So he must be out there trying to give out L's or something. Like
Well,
so I'm like, what the
the
hell?
whole
Like
thing with Derek Fisher, the whole thing when he did play, I don't know, he was looked at as some type of enforcer. I don't know, you look at Matt Barnes, it's like, yeah, I don't know, but you can't judge nobody on how they look or anything like that. I'm just saying that I guess he had to do something to get that reputation. So maybe he was in these locker rooms popping off on people. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I don't know why I always got to go to that. Like, we talking sports here, right? You know what I mean? You want to beat me up because of my opinion? Like, yeah, we ain't got to go there, man. These dudes, these old ass niggas be quick to talk about that shit. Like, all right, anybody fighting, man.
and the thing is they got kids coming up now and they're being looked at for college and stuff like that. Like his two twins are in high school still, and you doing all this
Hmm.
when you got kids and stuff watching. It's kind of crazy, but you know what I mean. Shout out to Matt Barnes. Shout out to Speakeasy as well.
Hmm.
You know what I mean. I still rock with them. I watch their content. Their content is pretty good. Stack be having me dying sometime. You know, it's just about the stories and stuff like that, which brings me to just to feel like you find out more about the locker rooms and stuff like that that you never get that access to before. So they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Hmm.
We'll see how far this goes. I think this is going to be a little bit click and views. Like I said, man, it's going to be over with in no time. Sunday's a new day. Shador's going to be playing against the Bears. Or, what I mean, they're going to have something else to say, just like everybody else, man. Like I did I did a video, I did a few videos on Shador on my own.
Hmm.
Hey, yo, hate is real though. I ain't gonna lie to you. That hate is
Hmm.
real, man. They straight getting that Shadour, man. And, you know me, Prime catch so many strays.
Hmm. Oh
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
He catch a lot of strays, yo. So, you know what I mean? I don't understand the fascination, you know what I mean, of just hating on the kid
Hmm.
like this, but whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see as the headlines keep going on and on. How it all ends up. There's a couple games left. Shador got to prove himself once again. I hope he does terrible
Yeah.
against my Bears, or if he does well, he can do well in spike and still catch a L. That I'd be good with that too. I need my boys to go ahead and tie something, clink something on up. But we'll see how that goes. But he's been easily the most polarizing player in the league this year. Shadour Sanders.
Yeah. By
There has
far.
been nobody
By
more
far.
polarizing than him. I can't even think of anybody else. Mahomes, no. None of the quarter Josh Allen's, no. This it's been him.
He is carrying the league right now, and they
Headlines,
only have 2 more.
stories,
Yeah,
and all that stuff. Yes, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
2 wins. 2 wins. But Wishka, I meant to ask you, uh, I was watching that damn Odell, and he was talking about $100 million is not a lot of money. Do you agree with that?
And of course, it's a lot of money. I mean, maybe speaking for himself. That reminds me of when Bill Sprewell said that back in the day when he was trying to negotiate for his contract. When he said that whatever money it was 30 million, something like that, is not enough to feed his family. You know what I mean? So they're speaking from a different tax bracket. I'm not gonna even judge him on that one right there. I know what he was trying to say. I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? He got accustomed to a lifestyle. I still think that even if you're an athlete, high paid athlete, 100 million is still a lot of money, especially from football players who don't get those big type of contracts anyway. Yeah,
Lot
I
of
mean, but I don't know. Get into that stuff, but
money. Yeah, I was watching it. I was like, yo, this dude bugging, man. Like, you get 100 million, and even with the taxes, you should be able to still be
that's
comfortable for the rest of your
100
life.
million is generational wealth.
You know what I mean?
I mean, obviously, if you do it right, it's generational wealth. That's something that can be passed down a couple generations. Once you establish some stuff, make some good investments, good business, pursue some good business deals and things like that. You pass that down a few generations, man. That's not
Great advice.
that's not 5 million. You're talking 100. Come on. But and I t-
Great
and
advice.
I heard a murder in there, so the tone is very murderous. So we're not gonna get into that too much. But we
Great
got the
advice.
NBA Cup that's about you got the Final Four out there. Our Knicks is in that Final Four. We got the Knicks versus the Magic, Thunder versus the Spurs. You know what I mean? So it's this is the first time our Knicks got to that Final Four in the Cup standing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But so we should see how it all works out, man. You know what I mean? You got any thoughts on the NBA Cup? Do you like the NBA Cup?
um, I'm still not used. I'm still not fully into it. I still think it's a participation award. But if the players are up for it and they actually playing hard, pause. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of creating, and I don't think maybe it's not about the NBA Cup, but I think there's a rivalry trying to start between Orlando and New York. You know what I mean? I mean, not New York, Orlando is trying to play a little bit more aggressive and they've been talking crap to each other. So it might try to start a little rivalry going on there, but I still think the Knicks will take it, beat Orlando anyway. You know what I mean? Whatever happens in the finals against I assume it's gonna be OKC. You know what I mean? We'll see that. But I need Cat to step up, man. I don't know about how you feel, but I need Cat to to play.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
And
just my thoughts on the cup, NBA Cup, I wasn't a fan of it before, but over the last couple of years, it's turned out some pretty good basketball, especially when it got to the, where it's at now. When it got to the final four teams, when they got to Vegas, it's been some good games that's came out of that, and it does give them something to play for in the beginning. I is a cup trophy the same thing as a chip trophy? No, you know what I mean. It's not. But I think if you're a fan, embrace it. You know what I mean? Because if you embrace it, buy into it, I think the players they'll start getting into it and they'll start giving us some good games at this time. You know what I mean? And I think the Knicks in Orlando, the Knicks, I hear what you're saying with it was becoming, I know last year with Wagner and Cat going at it, and that's the whole thing with when Wagner's is hurt and stuff like that. But now, but I think that's a good game because they got length in at all positions. The Clay defense, they got good wings, and that gives us problems, because we don't have the most length in the world. Pause, and so that's something that that can give us a problem. So hopefully, I would like to see us, play for something. It was early in the season, kind of test see where we at, as a team early on, and when we get past the Magic, like you said, more than likely it'll be against that Thunder team that is 23-1. People ain't talking about that enough to me. You know what I mean? Like they on a pace to break every damn record. How it's gonna go on? Because even with injury, they still winning. You know what I mean? Like so that they got a well-oiled pause machine that's over there in OKC. Man, I heard Wimby might be playing, possibly might come back. You know what I mean? So that might be interesting. Wimby and Chet got a little rivalry, and so maybe that could be something that can maybe get them off. But I don't know. We'll see. I like it. I like it. I
the
like the
NBA,
Final Four. I like it, especially when he plays. I like how that look. And anything with my Knicks, anybody they go against, I'm good with.
the NBA Cup, what I mean, it gives a lot of different optics. What I mean, if the players are playing hard, like I mentioned before, it can change the whole dynamic of how the tournament
Hmm.
goes. You add the money to the mix, and they seem to play for that money. So that can incite a whole new rivalry that I'm hoping that will happen because the NBA needs it.
Hmm.
We don't really get those rivalries like we used to, and the Knicks need it. You know what I mean? I think they need these things to raise to a whole new level to play. The courts, what I mean? I like the courts. The courts are cool, a little colorful action. I know that the Lakers court had was deemed not playable. So, they're not in it, but that was the only court that who had an issue. Now the Knicks court is pretty cool, but they're all gonna be on neutral site right now with the in Vegas. So, what I mean, with against Orlando, we're not gonna have Deuce and they're not gonna have Wagner, both Wagners. So, what I mean? The thing is that for some reason Orlando plays better with one of them out for some reason.
Well, the thing is
So
that when you got multiple wings that need the ball, it kind of takes away
yeah,
from some of the other talent that they might have in the guard play with Bain, with Suggs. And so with one of them out, even if it was Paulo, if he was out
yeah,
and you had,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Wagners in or something like that. So now that kind of unlocks Bain, and, outside of all his crazy ass antics he's been doing, he get buckets, he get to it. You know what I mean? He plays defense. We'll see. And that, we'll see how that all match up. But man, this is gonna be interesting, man. I look forward to that, man. And what? So they got the games of the weekend. Then Tuesday the championship.
Yeah, I think
So
so. Saturday we play
yeah,
Saturday.
so we'll see. By the next time we pod, we'll see who we'll be talking about who won the championship, man, and we'll see what it look like from there, man. But yeah, man.
Any changes you want to see with the next before we get out of here? Any changes?
I mean, to be honest, come. I mean, yeah. I mean, if Giannis, a package with Giannis, take Cat, unless we can not give away talent on top of that, that'd be great. But I don't know. We'll see. You know, I don't see that. I
They
don't see
talking
that
about
happening though.
no.
Yeah.
I was they were talking about Jose Alvarado as a backup point guard.
I mean, eh, he would blend in with the way we play. You know what I mean? Just give us that kind of gritty guy, and you know, and he a New York guy anyway, and they'll love him in New York. But if it happens, it happens. If not, we go what we got. Our issue is we ain't got no wing depth. That's what we need. You know, we need more wings. My thought, but
Yeah, it's kind of tough to get what we need with the money that we're spending. And they don't want to go to separate second apron. And because you know with that second apron, you pretty much tied down. You can't really do much once you get
right,
there.
right.
You know what I mean? The Knicks front office has been doing pretty well with that. They actually are doing like one of the best teams to maneuver around the aprons and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens. Free agency, not free agency, the trade deadline's coming up soon. So, you know, I don't see Giannis going nowhere this season, maybe in the summer. But until then, I'm hoping for the best. I think we got enough as what we have now to get to the finals. And we just got to do what we got to do, man. That's it. You know, it's good conversation today, man. Very good.
Yeah,
Very
man. Yeah,
good
man.
conversation.
This is one of our shorter podcasts. You know, and I think it was more centered, focused on the controversies out there. But we still got a lot of things that we can talk about as when the weekend rolls around. And man, I look forward to
Oh, yeah.
getting into those topics, man.
Hey, fellas, don't let the little man get you in trouble. I'm going to just say that right now. Let's stop the trend here. Come on.
That would never stop. It would never stop until the end of time. We are wired and hardwired to fuck up when it comes to that shit, man. And if you don't put yourself in a position to set up boundaries and stuff like that, it's gonna happen. Gotta set those boundaries, bro.
Black men don't cheat.
Uh, I, I heard that song before, but like I said, my man Dr. Umar, man.
Oh, man, he rolling around in his
No,
grave
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, man.
Hey, fellas, if you like this type of content, man, hit that like button,
Yeah,
subscribe to the channel,
yes.
and give us some love, man. And we're gonna give it back. Pause. Man, we'll see y'all soon.